The manipulator utters a truth in which a deceptive strategy is hidden. The manipulator does not say buy, instead he uses, "It's very cold, and I just got some nice and cheap sweaters." It is indeed cold. That's one unconscious yes. Indeed, the package and pattern of the sweater is beautiful. Second, yes. And indeed, very cheap. Third, yes. Therefore, without any words buy, the object of manipulation has, as it seems to him, an independent decision to buy an excellent thing for cheap, and on occasion, often without even unwrapping the package, but only asking for the size. The manipulator embeds a hidden statement in an ordinary phrase. It works on the principle that instead of choosing to buy or not to buy, you are offered to buy this or that. In such a case, the manipulator hides his command setting under the guise of a request. For example, you need to close the door. You can say to someone, "Go and close the door," but it will be worse than if your order is formalized as a request in a question. "I am asking you very much, could you cover the door?" The second option works better, and the person does not feel cheated. The manipulative salesman offers not to buy the product, but only to try it. You think it is harmless, and the decision is yours. After you have tried it, he immediately asks the question, "Did you like it?" Which means, will you buy it? Most often, it is difficult for the victim to answer, "No, I didn't like it." And after the victim says, "Yes, I liked it," the manipulator, without too many questions, weighs what you tried, which puts the victim in an even more awkward position, where it is even more difficult for him to refuse. The essence of this speech psychotechnique is that the manipulator links what is happening to what he needs. For example, the seller of hats, seeing that the customer is long fidgeting with the hat in his hands, thinking about whether to buy or not to buy, says that the client is lucky because he found the hat that suits him best. The more I look at you, the more I am convinced that it is so. After the manipulation has worked, manipulators encode their victim to amnesia, forgetting everything that happened. For example, if a gypsy woman, as an expert in hypnosis and reality, street manipulation, has taken a ring or a chain from the victim, she will certainly say before parting, "You don't know me and have never seen me. These things, the ring and chain, are someone else's. You have never seen them." In this case, if the hypnosis was shallow, the enchantment as an indispensable part of the suggestion in reality, passes in a few minutes. With deep hypnosis, the coding can last for years. Since a person in any conversation better remembers the beginning and the end, it is necessary not only to enter the conversation correctly, but also the right words that the object of manipulation should remember, to put at the end of the conversation. At first you are told story number 1. In the middle, they interrupt it and start telling story number 2. In the middle of the story, they interrupt it and start telling story number 3, which is told in full. Then the manipulator finishes telling story number 2, and after that, completes story number 1. As a result of this method of mental programming, story number 1 and number 2 are realized and remembered, and story number 3 is quickly forgotten and unrecognized, and thus, having been pushed out of consciousness, is placed in the subconscious. But the point is that just in story number 3, manipulators have laid down instructions and commands for the subconsciousness of the object of manipulation, which means we can be sure that after a while, this person, object, will begin to fulfill the psychological attitudes introduced into his subconsciousness, and at the same time, will consider that they come from him. The information needed by the manipulator is hidden among the story, which the manipulator presents allegorically and metaphorically. The hidden meaning is the idea that the manipulator has decided to plant in your mind. The more vividly and picturesquely the story is told, the easier it is for such information to bypass the barrier of criticality and embed the information in your subconscious. Later, such information will start working at the moment, the occurrence of which was either laid down initially, or a code was laid down, activating which the manipulator each time to achieve the necessary effect. The speech technique consists in the fact that the fortune teller, anticipating some surely forthcoming action of the client, says, for example, "As soon as you see your lifeline, you will understand me at once." Here, by the subconscious logic of the client's looking at her palm, at the lifeline, the fortune teller logically joins the building up of trust in herself and in everything she does. At the same time, the fortune teller cleverly inserts a trap for the consciousness with the end of the phrase, "You will understand me at once," the intonation of which denotes another, hidden from the consciousness real meaning, "You will agree with everything I do at once." Manipulators break speech monotony by emphasizing attitudes using anchors from neurolinguistic programming. This emphasis can be through intonation, volume, touch, gestures, etc. These emphasized elements blend into the story, triggering subconscious reactions from the listener. According to VM Candyba, hidden commands scattered throughout the conversation are more effective than overt ones. This requires expressive speech, strategic word emphasis, and effective use of pauses. A classic example of an old reaction is when a child walking in the park is suddenly attacked by a dog. The child was greatly frightened, and subsequently in any subsequent situation, even the safest and harmless one, when he sees a dog he automatically, i.e. unconsciously, has an old reaction, fear. Such reactions can be pain, temperature, kinesthetic, touch, gustatory, auditory, olfactory, etc.